Now, what might this mysterious trick be, you ask? Well, simple, it's flanking. That was all for this one. Take care, gamers. But there is a lot more to be said on the subject. So, if you want to hear more, then sit back and relax. Because first, I want to talk about exactly why flanking is such a powerful move in Escape from Tarkov. And one of the main reasons, I think at least, why it's so effective is because a lot of players tend to stay in roughly or sometimes exactly the same positions as when you first encountered them. It could be because they are scared to move and get spotted, or they might want to play it slow and camp it out. I see this happening quite often. Even after close to 10 minutes, I'll still sometimes find the person I was flanking in the same spot. In the first clip here, I'm on interchange at the front entrance to Ollie. My mate has just died to a guy who is prone at the top of the escalators, and while trying to spot this guy out, I start taking shots from further in the store. I had actually been shot at from down there a minute or two prior as well, so at this point, I'm quite sure where this guy is at. I quickly move to a spot where they can no longer see me, and I begin my flank. I'm planning to run all the way to the back wall and follow it until I can see whoever was shooting at me. Make sure to keep your eyes peeled while you are making your flank. The enemy could be doing the same, and you could be facing them at any moment. Also, sprinting is not required at all here. Making a slower flank can be just as effective, if not more. However, since it is taking a longer time, there's also a higher chance that your enemy is going to change its position before you get there. And in this flank, I'm being a bit too aggressive, you can see. I should have stopped sprinting here. However, it's a good flank, and there he is. An easy kill for me, and the guy never even saw it coming. I move up a bit more. There's a guy in the darkness, almost completely invisible, even while I'm scoping in on the guy. Now, luckily, they didn't realize I was behind them, so it was another easy kill. And as you can see, a very successful flank. These guys never saw it coming, and they were staying in the same position for a long time while I was moving around. In this next clip, we're still on interchange, but I've entered through the back of Idea this time. I take a shot from somewhere near the tills, and I make my way to cover. After doing a bit of healing and tossing a nade, it takes me a second to decide that I want to flank. Now, another reason why flanking is so effective is, as you see here, I am removing myself from the position where my enemy is expecting to find me. So even if he does end up getting away, it's most likely going to lead to a better survival rate for you. Now, if you do lose sight of your target while doing your flank, it's always worth checking if you might have pushed your original position. That's something that happens a lot too. Now, from here, I already have a chance to spot the guy, but I decide to move up the stairs instead to get a better view. This was back when scavs were blocked out, as you can see, so that's why they're ignoring me. Soon after arriving in my spot, the action starts. A couple of shots is needed, but I secure the kill. Another successful flank. Again, where the victim had no idea what was happening, he was probably still expecting me to be in the same position where he was shooting at me originally. As you can see, flanking can be a pretty effective move against your opponents. A lot of players tend to get stuck in their positions. So if you are one of those players who find yourself doing that, try to start moving more after you've been shot at or shot at someone. Always make sure to move from cover to cover though. Don't run out in the open and leave yourself exposed, unless you can't avoid it, of course. Now in the last clip I have for you here, I'm doing a pretty wild flank. But it also goes to show what I'm talking about when I say that you can use a long time doing your flank sometimes and people will still be waiting. I'm with Ben on reserve and we spot two people coming down from the dome. At first, we try and set up an ambush behind this building. It seems that they have spotted us as well because suddenly they stop and we begin taking shots at some point. We toss a couple of grenades, but since neither of us have bought a scope, we are having a hard time peeking them at a range here. At some point, I decide to try a pretty long flank that will bring me up to the dome and have a height advantage on these guys. Now, I won't actually recommend doing this exact flank. It's probably a bit too ambitious, but luckily it did work out. As I'm making my way, I run into some players. Fortunately, I deal with them pretty quickly, and I'm able to continue my flank. Ben has managed to take out one of the guys coming down from the dome, but there is still one guy up on the hill. And at this point, it's been close to 6 minutes since we were first shot at, and I began my flank. I know I'm getting pretty close here, so I asked Ben to throw a nade for some sound cover, and I almost end my own life here on this rock jumping over. But I'm lucky again, and the guy I'm looking for is just below me. It's not the easiest kills this time. He had heard me coming, but the flank still allowed me to close that gap instead of having to fight him at long range where he has a scope and I don't. So to sum it up, guys, don't freeze and get stuck in positions. Keep moving. Don't run out into the open if you can avoid it. Always try and stay near cover. Utilize flanking, since a lot of players do tend to freeze up or stay in place. And practicing this will get you killed. There's no way around it. But come on, what did you expect? This is Tarkov, right? Death is the only thing that we can be sure of. If you want to learn something about dealing with solo anxiety, click this video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.